Hi everybody. Um, I will speak about tokenization and what's token and what's good token. But before, I would like to introduce myself. I'm a co-founder and strategic director of Iconic Lab, and Iconic Lab is token accelerator. What does it mean? If you are a startup and you need some help with ICO, after that, my presentation, you are more than welcome to come to me. And if you are an investor who are looking on very good quality deal flow, or the deals of the tokens which are uh, German quality verified and vetted, you after presentation you come to me. So what was the biggest thing what happened last year to our mind and to my mind is that the start huge boom of tokenization. And what does it mean? Early change. It's changed the way how startups are how technologies are fundraised. Before, some 10 years ago even, so we have a good companies, and they mostly was fundraised by some VCs and business angels in some particular state. So it like everything what we gain from technology profit, it was profitized in very simple some in very narrow circle in one particularly mostly in one particularly uh, place in the world. It's Silicon Valley. And what changed last year? Last year it changed that everybody in the world have equal access to be part of investing in technological progress. And what was like biggest sign which gives that the statement is that last year in one particular segment, in blockchain segment, ICOs or this way of crowdfunding beat VC funding. So at least one industry was mostly financed by everybody participants and was significantly like democratized. And what I believe this will be only the first like technological wave. Next technologies like artificial intelligence will be democratized and financing as well. Maybe after that, augmented reality and virtual reality. What maybe is a short story about token. So this token has like four features. One is intrinsic value. It's a value if you like see like Coca-Cola. It's Coca-Cola is a drink, and there's always some kind of intrinsic value what token has itself. Second is speculative value or financial value of token, which you can easily see in different things regarding when you're selling the token in exchanges. You see market caps and etc. The second part. Third part is always like token is somewhere stored in the blockchain, and ownership is transferred within the blockchain. And the first and third element, which has become more and more important, it's always starting what kind of legal structure is token. So I made research on 200 most valuable tokens. What I did, I going through CoinMarketCap, took in the March, took the most list of 100 valuable tokens, and go through their white papers. Then I did like content analysis in order to understand what kind of tokens there are. So the first results are 59% in generally all these 200 tokens are utility tokens. What does it mean? It means that there is like from this token, I can exchange to some kind of software utility. Second biggest group is app payment tokens, which means that this token is needed when I'm going into some application, and it's like internal currency. So there's like ecosystem for stakeholders, and they are just using it in order like transferring value. And only like the fifth is the third and very small part of it is security type tokens. Security type tokens usually which you give some kind of equity or some share of profit, revenue, and some deep voting rights. It's one thing. And second thing, if you see like in all these categories, if you see what are the best like category regarding value of token, and then I just put all tokens in one category and divide it by number, just understanding average value of one token in one category. And it seems that the utility token is the most valuable. One. What it gives for us, it gives us like 2 things. It gives us like a very strong foundation. 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 What it gives for us what it gives a very clear understanding what ICO is. At least this year, 1 year long history shows that ICO is about selling and speculating about tech utility, about software utility. It's one thing. It's like some 100 years ago here was a speculation regarding tulips. Now it's very clear that it's about tech utility. So everybody can now invest in tech utility, which will be significant in the future. So this is one thing. And second is ICO is crowd sale mechanism for this tech utility. It's very similar in a way what company does when they sell tech software or software licenses to everybody else. Only they are not using tokens. They are not tokenized. What information it gives important, because there is a huge debate in community whether ICOs with very huge budgets, marketing budgets, like in Russia, it's usually from 1 to 2 million. Even there, a lot of budgets are companies are competing regarding ICO, whether it's toxic or not. And I would say it's not toxic, because you will see that like when big companies like Salesforce, Mindbot, which are not using ICO as crowd sale mechanism, but they are spending as well up to 20% of their revenues in the market. So I would say that big marketing expenditure maybe is not so toxic, and I think maybe it's the normal of the game when you sell some. So there is some kind of course, simple typology of tokens. So we can see that there is at least 5 types of tokens. One token is a generic tech token, like blockchain smart contracts. It gives utility. Usually, it's storage, verification, or computation. It's like Ethereum and different kind of blockchains, native things. By the way, these are most valuable tokens. Next is crypto tokens for crypto markets. It's exchanges, and they usually, with a token, I give some privilege on services. Whether I can transfer, get discount for fee of exchange fee, and etc. Then of course there is token, super token payments. It's like fiat-based payments and etc. And then there is a different application tokens, like two. But if we will see, the second thing is what is like most valuable token category by market, which category absorbs most important value. And I would say that 55% of all 200 most valuable tokens, market caps, goes to basic tech tokens. It's like tokens which could be used by any industry. First of all, it's industry agnostic, and it's like they're building like foundational technologies. These are most valuable by far in the market. Second valuable group, it's 26%, goes to the tokens which build for crypto markets, like exchanges, fiat tokens, and etc. They absorb around 26% of market cap. 10% goes to different kind of tokens or projects which use blockchain for financial industries. And the last is 10% goes to everybody else. And here is the trick. If you do in the coin schedule, if you do into coin schedule, coinschedule.com database, and you will see what kind of ICOs are happening, then you will see that around 70 or 90% of ICOs are happening in industry application level. Okay, so it means that the market demands basic technologies, but supply mostly is on application level. And it's vice versa. And what message it gives, I would say it gives clear message that if somebody has basic new improved blockchain, new improved protocol, at that level, you will always get bigger and bigger interest from the market, less competition. Like if you offer some industry application, it means if you are like startup which offer industry application, you will need to fight with marketing and budget and stand out very high. Now you will see that different kind of how on average what's the market cap of different kind of technologies. So on average, blockchain technologies is 1 million worth. So if you see all the projects, blockchain projects, and divided by their market cap by number of them, you will see the biggest and the most valuable category is blockchain. Then is token, Orca, different orgalizers, Eternity particularly, crypto exchanges, the big category, and least valuable is marketplaces and platforms. Why it's important? And before this data, you will see, and I will say why it's important when investors can start evaluating what is like normal hard cap values later on. But before that, it's very important to understand what is like how much tokens in general we allocate to the market, to investors, to tokens. So it's in general around 50%. So it's from 50 to 87% are sold for investors through tokens. Now, what we do when we know two figures, when we know what's like how much is the approximate value for one project of market value, which we learn from 1 year, because we have 1 year experience. So if you, and we know that approximately 50% of these tokens are sold to the market, and we know like third figure, because speaking with different investors, you will find that the normal X, like what they expect from return, when they buy token in ICO and after sold in secondary market is between 5 to 15x. Okay? Here, if we do like this thing, if we just adjust and we say, okay, market is like, there are similar projects, you look on the similar project, the market, make average value of that, and adjust to the tokens which are only sold in the market, and then you divide it by 5x, then you see approximately what kind of normal hard cap valuations could be. And here is the key. Still, blockchain project normal hard cap valuation could go up to 91 million, but marketplaces up to 6. And I would argue that we will see during last year, and even so, that we have a lot of those projects which are industry-specific marketplaces and platforms. They are going with very, very significant and very, very, very high hard caps, significantly overvalued, and they face significant competition. So this is the next thing. From where like these ICOs are coming. Okay, it's not like everybody, because not every white paper are disclosing this information, but those who are disclosing, and I believe that this year it's changing drastically in geographies. And it's again, it's not about that. For example, of course, a lot of Russian companies are using Singapore and Switzerland companies in Ukraine for launching their own ICOs. So it's not about from origin of investors, but it's the places where they are registered. Mostly you see from United States, Singapore, and Switzerland. And Estonia, Israel are coming up, and new players like Gibraltar is coming back again. This like third element, which I told you, it's about legacy and legal things. And this is a slide which I copied from in February. And German regulator told the speech about regulation of ICOs. The main thing was that it's clearly a lot of things is going on. There's a lot of legal hassles between different parties, and different countries start imposing different rules again. And you see here like China ban, Korea ban, there is the US, it's like security type of token, and there is countries like Estonia, which is less, is more favorable to different crypto initiatives. But there is one thing which is happening clearly, that the regulations are coming in the game. I was in the conference the same conference when BaFin, German regulator, told that everybody will be doing unregulated business in German territory, and for Germans in ICOs, they will prosecute it and will put in jail. So the intentions from regulators are very, 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 I would say, are very high, and therefore what we are living step by step, and we're living in the world where ICOs start becoming geographically, like this whole regulation debate, defragmenting ICO market. Not anymore will be not global, but it will be a very, very geographical one, and very good companies, because you cannot like hire like lawyers in all over the world. What you will do most probably, you will selectively list your ICO strategy, and you will focus on several countries, and there you go all on regulation side. This could be one thing which will be like a result of this global hustle of different uh, regulation debates what's happening now. So one interesting thing, which I saw the same here in the stand. In the stand you see there is a blockchain categories and eternity, like, and then there is different crypto solutions. But here emerging as well was like IE tokens. It's a new emerging thing is that we are step by step tokenizing artificial intelligence. And if we see like white papers, it's not like how many they used, but in white paper, how many they refer to these technologies. And 21% in white papers, you see some kind of notifications that they are thinking of connecting or using or relying on this technology as well. And speaking with different kind of IE people, I would say at least three categories would be interesting to develop and should be to democratized and decentralized, because artificial intelligence in general is by far monopolized technology. It's mostly produced and located in big corporates, mostly financed by small VCs, and its data is held in some big player. Data monopolies are in some big player in some big players. I think like everybody, and like I think for technological progress to be more democratic and more engaging and more participatory, we need to democratize artificial intelligence. And this we could do through tokenized, and I think particularly three important things could be democratized. One is hardware. So because for training models you need some hardware, and you can build decentralized distributed networks for IE model training. One thing, we need more model and data marketplaces where we can easily, data scientists can change the data, build IE models and exchange differently. And we need solutions how to easily companies could create and tokenize their artificial intelligence. Again, so I'm part of Iconic Lab. We are our global IC accelerator program based in Frankfurt. So what we do, we source and fund top startups. We select around 3% startups in our program. Then we accelerate teams to the token launch, and we provide transparency and good deal flow to our investors. So if you are interested in to talk about Iconic Lab and opportunities you as a startup or you as an investor, please come to me after the speech. So thank you very much.
Okay. I think we've got time for some questions. Okay, I'll kick off the question. So in terms of your sources of capital, who's giving you the capital to make the investments?
Me?
Yeah, where are you getting your capital from?
Iconic Lab.
Yeah.
So Iconic Lab gives capital. So it's first of all, Iconic Lab, we have a very significant and very big equity investor, shareholder. So our shareholder is FinLab AG, public listed company in Germany. It's VC and fintech incubator. One thing. Second thing, we are issuing our own ICO. So we have already raised in e-sales 1.5 million, and we are now doing our own ICO. So everybody which wants to finance these companies, be part of very good deal flows, can most welcome come and join us.
And if I bought one of your tokens, what do I get? If I buy one of your tokens in your sale, what do I get?
So you get several things, but the most important thing is, so we provide you with exclusivity access by startup tokens which go through our program, significant discount. So for example, if you have Iconic Lab token and I don't have, so you have exclusive access to invest in pre-sales of those companies. So I don't have. And if I have one token and you have 10 tokens, then you have opportunity to buy and invest to get 10 times tokens, 10 times more tokens
what are the tokens linked to?
Tokens is linked to, it's like membership token. Our token is membership token. So it means if you are part of, if you have a token, then you are part of investor club who has access to better deal flow. It means you have opportunity to invest in our startups in much faster, in much earlier stage and get a bigger discount. So it means if you have our token, only you can get discounts significantly more than any other without being big whale. Or etc.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Sure. Okay. Cool. Okay. Thanks very much.